Long before the night that changed their lives, the tribe followed a steady rhythm across wide grasslands. They searched for nuts, roots, and berries while watching herds of antelope and mammoths shift along the horizon. Their stone flakes, shaped with bare hands, served as their only tools. Every choice depended on quick reactions and calm focus. When the sun dropped, they climbed to higher ground or settled in trees, trusting height to keep threats away. Though evenings seemed quiet, faint rustles and distant howls reminded them that the dark held secrets they did not yet understand. This fragile sense of safety carried them from day to day, unaware that their old habits were about to be shaken by raw fear. Night settles over the valley, and the tribe gathers near a weakening fire, trying to hold on to its fading warmth. The wind falls silent, leaving a stillness that feels wrong, as if the land itself is holding its breath. A low growl breaks the quiet, close enough to freeze every movement. Fear spreads through the group as shadows stretch across the ground, turning ordinary bushes into threatening shapes. They cling to one another, hoping the sound will pass, yet it rises again, sharper than before. Then, a sudden crash tears through the brush, and a hidden attacker drags one of their hunters away before a single warning cry can form. Screams follow, sending the survivors scrambling upward. In that hour, they understand that darkness is a living force demanding new ways to survive for them. In the days after the attack, the tribe moves through the valley with a new sense of alertness. Tracks pressed into soft soil, snapped twigs hidden under leaves, and clawed bark on fallen trunks begin to guide their choices. The land turns into a puzzle they must learn to read, piece by piece. They test new sleeping spots, from narrow rock ledges to circles of sturdy trees, hoping to stay beyond reach of whatever hunts by night. Some places protect them, while others nearly lead to disaster. Yet each attempt teaches them more. They stop waiting for danger and start recognizing its signs long before it appears. Another night brings a hard shift in their struggle. A saber-toothed cat circles their resting place, its low growl sliding through the dark, while amber eyes track every move. Their old habit of climbing trees fails when the predator starts rising after them. Panic rises. In raw fear, one member thrusts a burning branch forward. The animal retreats. In that instant, they understand that fire can shield them, urging a new way to confront the night. Now, aware of fire's power, the tribe gathers dry wood and tends larger flames after sunset, letting light spill across their camp. Predators circle the edges, but pause at the glowing barrier, hesitant to approach. Each safe night teaches them how sparks, smoke, and shifting light shape the world around them. Shadows no longer ignite pure fear. They become signals, pointing toward movement and hidden paths. Slowly, the tribe begins to see patterns. Fire becomes more than warmth. It is their first weapon, guiding teamwork, shaping strategy, and turning the unknown into something they can meet with thought rather than panic. Hunters crouch silently on a rocky ridge, their eyes fixed on a herd of massive aurochs grazing below, each muscle of the animals rippling with cautious strength. Unlike before, they do not rush forward in a blind charge. Instead, they remain still, tracing the herd's slow, measured movements. Every dip in the ground, every cluster of animals, every shadow cast by the setting sun becomes a detail to memorize. Strength alone will not bring down creatures of this size. They study the wind, the valley's slope, the patterns of movement, learning that patience and awareness are as vital as power. In these quiet, tense minutes, a new kind of survival takes root, one shaped by observation and understanding. The tribe begins to see that their future depends not on instinct alone, but on how keenly they can read the world around them. As the seasons shift, the tribe begins to memorize every nook and curve of their territory, turning the vast wilderness into a living map inside their minds. They notice which paths hold firm after rain, where predators move at dusk, and which watering holes vanish with the changing sun. Without drawings or symbols, their understanding grows from observation alone. A snapped branch signals recent passage, a pile of droppings hints at a herd's path, and a muddy bank points to a safe water source. With this awareness, their stone tools improve, hand axes shaped with intention instead of chance. The land stops being random and dangerous. It becomes a canvas they can read, plan around, and slowly command through knowledge, foresight, and careful preparation. The tribe's hunts slowly evolve from frantic individual efforts into carefully coordinated operations, each movement measured and purposeful. Groups form with distinct roles. Some drive prey toward narrow gullies, while others lie in wait, blades sharpened, ready for the strike. Flankers, chasers, and blockers all follow a rhythm that grows steadier with every attempt. Success brings confidence, but danger never disappears. One misstep can turn triumph into chaos. This constant pressure teaches them to signal, anticipate, and respond to one another without hesitation. Each hunt strengthens their bonds while mistakes carve lessons of patience and resilience. Through repetition, they learn that planning is essential, forging unity and securing survival in a world ruled by instinct and risk. One hunt spirals into disaster as the herd scatters in an unexpected direction, leaving the hunters struggling to regain control. A young member is struck and badly injured, sending a wave of shock through the group. Fear, frustration, and blame threaten to fracture their unity, yet they do not give in. Instead, they gather around the wounded hunter, speaking softly, analyzing what went wrong. In this quiet reflection, a new understanding emerges. They see that mistakes are lessons, not just failures. From this moment, tragedy transforms into growth, guiding the tribe towards smarter planning, stronger coordination, and a deeper sense of shared responsibility for survival. After days of careful preparation, the tribe undertakes their most daring plan, driving a herd toward a steep cliff. Hunters position themselves along ridges, guiding the animals forward while keeping the herd on a single path. The thunder of hooves shakes the earth beneath them, hearts pounding with both fear and anticipation. Every movement is precise, every signal timed. When the plan succeeds, the tribe stands in stunned relief, pride rising with each breath. In that moment, they realize they are no longer driven solely by instinct. Their sharpened tools and minds now work together, ushering them into a new era of strategy and deliberate survival. The valley changes in ways the tribe cannot ignore. Winds grow sharper, carrying a bite that seeps through furs and skin, and the green grasses fade into muted browns and grays. Nights stretch longer, stealing the warmth they once relied on, while streams stiffen at the edges, their waters half frozen and whispering a warning. Hunters return with empty hands as familiar herds wander farther, guided by instincts the tribe cannot match. Even shelters that once offered comfort now feel fragile under snow, piling faster than they can shovel. Each day drives home a stark truth. The land is no longer theirs to take for granted, and they must adapt quickly or face the relentless cold. With familiar plants fading and animals vanishing, the tribe ventures beyond paths they once knew, stepping into unknown stretches of land. They follow rivers that wind through icy plains, tracing the faint tracks left by migrating herds, relying on memory and instinct to guide them. Days pass without a single sign of life, and the world that once offered routine now feels unpredictable, even threatening. Yet they press onward, observing every detail. Cliffs carved by winter winds, frost-covered forests, and frozen lakes teach them the land's secrets. Valleys that trap warmth, slopes that shelter from storms, and caves echoing with predator signs become lessons. Each discovery expands their understanding, turning careful observation into the tool that keeps them alive in this harsh, unfamiliar world. As the cold deepens, the tribe turns its attention to staying warm long enough to think, hunt, and recover from injuries. They discover caves that block the bitter wind and offer stable, dry ground. Inside these rocky shelters, small hearths are built, and hides are stitched together with bone needles, forming layered clothing that traps heat far better than loose pelts ever could. Children huddle close to glowing embers, while adults venture out only when necessary. Through repeated trial and careful adjustment, they learn to scrape hides so they remain flexible yet insulating. Each improvement in clothing or shelter gives them precious hours of warmth, extending their survival in a harsh world that tests both endurance and ingenuity. A relentless blizzard traps the tribe inside a cave for days. Snow piles high across the entrance, and the wind howls like wild animals, shaking the rock around them. Their food dwindles rapidly, and fear presses on every mind. Yet necessity sparks innovation. They slice meat into thin strips to dry, ration supplies carefully, and search the cave for hidden roots left by past floods. When the storm finally eases, they emerge thinner, wearier, yet sharper in spirit. In that confinement, they learn that survival depends not just on courage, but on foresight, planning, and clever adaptation to the forces of nature. As the tribe moves southward, a new valley opens before them, with flowing rivers, scattered game, and gentler weather. Relief spreads through the group, tempered by quiet reflection. They survived not because the land was merciful, but because they learned to adapt. The cold taught them foresight, scarcity inspired innovation, and hardship forged unity. Settling near the river, they carry the lessons etched by winter into every action and choice. In this reborn landscape, the tribe stands ready, tempered by experience, prepared to meet whatever changes the world may bring next. The tribe settles beside a calm stretch of river, trusting that night will pass as it always has. Children stack stones along the bank, laughing softly, while hunters sharpen their stone blades with steady hands. Elders sit near the fire, watching smoke curl into the darkening sky, each flicker carrying stories of past hunts. Suddenly, faint voices drift through the trees, carrying rhythm, but no familiar meaning. The hunters halt, hearts tightening. These are not growls, not bird calls. They are human, shaped by foreign tongues. Silhouettes slip between branches, moving with both confidence and caution. The tribe senses that these newcomers belong to another world. The river, once a line of safety, now marks a fragile boundary. Shadows stretch and twist, revealing shapes that are human, not beast, and the night becomes a space of profound uncertainty. Over the following days, the tribe watches the newcomers from high ground, eyes fixed on every motion. These strangers appear stronger, their shoulders broader, limbs thicker, their presence commanding, yet controlled. Every step is deliberate, every movement measured. They carry heavy stone tools shaped in ways the tribe has never seen, edges sharpened with a skill that speaks of practice and intention. When they walk along the opposite riverbank, the tribe notices how carefully they test the ground, pausing to study scents and footprints, reading the land with quiet expertise. As winter approaches, food grows scarce for both groups, and the river becomes a contested lifeline. Tension builds, yet the tribe observes that these outsiders care for their wounded and move in coordinated lines, revealing order rather than chaos. Curiosity mingles with fear as both groups measure distance, unsure how close is safe to approach. Inevitably, the long silence ends. One morning, while tracking a herd of deer, both groups converge in the same clearing. The animals panic, scattering in every direction before either side can react. Shouts pierce the air, sharp and urgent. A stone tool is raised instinctively, and another follows. The clash is brief but brutal. Scratches, bruises, and one deep cut mark the encounter's toll. Neither side gains prey or territory, only pain. Yet even in the chaos, lessons are learned. The tribe observes the stranger's speed, the heft of their tools, and the careful way they protect their injured. As the tribe retreats, fear grows alongside awareness. The world is wider, more dangerous, and more complex than they had imagined. Other humans are no longer distant shadows. They are immediate forces that can shape their survival. A sudden winter storm tears across the valley, blanketing the land in snow and whipping the trees with violent wind. Paths disappear under drifts, and visibility drops until shapes blur into white. The tribe races toward the cave they discovered days before, hearts pounding with both urgency and caution. Inside, they find the strangers already huddled near a dwindling fire, eyes wide with equal surprise and tension. Memories of their previous clash hang in the air. Outside, the storm allows no alternative. Cold bites, hunger gnaws, and the cave is the only refuge. Both groups sit in uneasy silence, facing each other, uncertain whether this enforced proximity will spark violence or open the door to something entirely new. Through the long hours trapped by the storm, both groups watch each other carefully, curiosity mixing with lingering caution. The shared fire becomes their first unspoken connection, its glow softening tension. Gradually, small offerings appear, a piece of dried meat here, a careful gesture there, bridging fear with trust. As the storm rages on, they exchange subtle lessons. One group demonstrates sharper techniques for shaping stone. The other shows how to read tracks and sense more effectively. When the sky finally clears, they part ways, each carrying knowledge gained not through battle but through observation, cooperation, and the fragile beginnings of shared human learning. Children gather close to the dancing firelight, their faces painted in amber glow, eyes wide with wonder as elders recount nights of storms, hunts, and the shadows that once stalked their ancestors. Each story carries lessons of survival, caution, and courage, teaching the young to read the land, respect danger, and value teamwork. The crackle of the flames punctuates every word, binding listeners together in a shared rhythm of memory. Tales of past triumphs and losses become living threads connecting generations. In these firelit circles, the tribe learns to preserve knowledge, turning fleeting experiences into enduring wisdom that shapes identity and guides the steps of tomorrow. As the seasons shift and light bends differently across the land, members of the tribe begin to etch lines into stone and bone, simple marks that carry weight beyond immediate survival. Crushed ochre smears across cave walls, depicting the animals they hunt and the dangers that haunt their valleys. These early expressions become a bridge between instinct and reflection, a way to communicate fears, victories, and lessons across time. Small objects, tools, beads, carefully shaped stones are placed with the deceased, showing reverence and remembrance. Through these acts, the tribe begins to grasp the unseen forces of life and death, planting roots of belief that will guide generations yet to come. With sturdier shelters and more refined tools, the tribe moves through the land with growing confidence. They explore wider territories, tracking game with heightened attention, reading footprints, broken branches, and scents as if the landscape itself speaks to them. Their memories begin to extend beyond spoken stories, finding permanence in carvings, painted symbols, and deliberate customs that mark significant events. Burials become intentional, with carefully chosen tokens laid beside those who have passed, signaling respect and remembrance. These acts reveal deepening bonds and a shared sense of identity. Through teaching the young, knowledge solidifies into habits, methods, and collective wisdom, ensuring that their experiences endure and guide the generations to come. A sudden blaze sweeps through the tribe's camp, devouring shelters and cherished belongings in an instant. Thick smoke hangs over the valley for days, a constant reminder of what has been lost, while grief settles like a heavy stone in every chest. Yet from this